Welcome everyone to day one out of 20 years for Project the Long Game. So the whole point of Project the Long Game is to become the best version of me that I thought could be possible. So I'm using this local host that I created. It's a little website I created thanks to some help online. So using the way little tab I got there, 20-year plan. And if you look down here, you can see everything that I want to be in life. So you got your orthopedic surgeons, well, specializing in sports medicine, financially sovereign, you gotta be a master pianist, master chef, physically elite, present as a father, husband, and a son. And then also, it'd be nice to be able to operate from anywhere on earth. So with this 20-year plan, we're currently there's five phases, okay? There's phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, and phase five. First phase, which I'll go over, is the foundation. And it's pretty easy to see everything here. I would say this entire setup took about a week. So phase one is my entire undergraduate. This is 2026 to 2030. So the whole point, get in medical school, build those habits, finances, and personal brand infrastructure that will scale me for the next 20 years. So let's go probably put a little higher. Academics. I got into my major for neuroscience on the pre-med track, so put that one down. Now the goal is just, make sure you get that nice GPA, shadow, get clinical volunteering, do some research, and also get that nice MCAT score. Oh, pretty easy to look up on here. I made it pretty easy to even follow it myself. But the brand, make sure you got to launch that health wellness brand by the end of this year, which I will be. It'll be a research channel. So looking forward to that. I love research. Anyway, this is where I'll post it primarily and then what I'll be talking about. So if you're interested in that, that's what I'll be doing. And then the target to get 1 million followers across all social media by then, before medical school. And then for piano, I've actually started my formal training last year, but I had to quit or I had to stop and go on hiatus due to just starting off work in November. So I began formal instruction. Starting back up though next Monday. Boom! I will give a video on that when that day happens. But yeah, beginning formal instruction next Monday. I will have my 30-minute practice daily. I actually did my practice today on a minuet by Chopin. Ooh, and then all these grading systems by the end of undergraduate. My character, though, I definitely would love to avoid consumer debt. And I always have to call my family, man. Come on, cause what you think this is? Always call your family. And then I have to identify a mentor in medicine by the end of this year. Actually, I have two, but they're family medicine. So for orthopedics, I have to kind of change up and see how that goes. But for language, I would love to learn Spanish fully because I'm Mexican. And it's not easy being in Osawa. So, speak Spanish. Japanese because I want to have a house there. And Korean. I have a lot of friends who are Korean and Japanese. So it's also nice to be able to have that little trick up my deck. And the goal is to always, this is a daily goal, 20 minutes a day of just language exposure across all three. So, for example, to get those 20 minutes a day, I would just read or just watch an episode of like a K drama or honestly just a show I like. Anime, for example, for the Japanese, but it's not the best translated. Well, it's not like the best. It's not the best when it comes to actually learning Japanese, though, unfortunately. And then Spanish, no context. My grandma speaks Spanish, so I'll just learn from her, thankfully. On the financial side, yes. So the goal is to open up a Roth IRA in my freshman year. And actually, as soon as I turn 18, I will open up a Roth IRA. Keeping my spending real clean and cut. Definitely making sure I'm staying pretty close to my means. And then investing in my education. Gotta make sure I spend money on 2 books per year minimum. Wink. Wink. Spending wink. Anyway, I identify and secure scholarships every semester. Thankfully, I have the GI Bill, so I don't have to worry about that. But I should still think about that in the future. And then this isn't actually income. This is just what I get every week or every other week as like a to help me get by. That's all. Physical. Okay. I have committed to a structured training year round, which I'll be showing every single day, except for Wednesdays and I believe Saturdays. Then we've got our networking. I've actually in the process of joining AMSA, which is pretty nice. There is a club at my university. Cold emailing. I have actually emailed 20 for interviews and possible shadowing and just talking with them because I'm pretty interested, to be honest. When it comes to these conferences, I was not aware that they're like like $300 per conference. So I'm gonna find one nearby when I start off, and then just enjoy the conference. Just talk to people, learn from those who are doing their presentations, and just get in touch. Build those healthy relationships, and then becoming professional by having a nice LinkedIn presence by sophomore year. And then having two mentors, one in medicine and one in business, because I do want to have a business, a private practice that can help me just live my life. And then treat every shadowing hour and lab placement as a relationship. Now, lastly, for culinary, I've been cooking since I was 2, but just because you can cook different things, different recipes, does not mean that you are a chef or even a great cook. You just know those recipes. So the goal is to for sure master knife skills and kitchen safety. That is truly the foundation of everything. After that, gotta learn your mother sauces. Um, I do cook a structured meal from scratch at least 3 times per week, so I'll put that down. Oh, also, yes, you can click to enter what you have and what you have not done. I have no clue how to say this man's name, but sure, that's for sure what I have to work on. I'm not really much of a French cook per se. I'm more of a Mexican or Japanese food type of guy. Like I do break bread like once a month though. I bake bread once a month. Not too good with it, but I did get better. I for sure need to understand. Oh my gosh, the seasoning, the flavor, and the heat. Those are crucial. And then I'm really excited to host dinner parties, so add that part in as well. And then down here, you'll see the overall domain progress. So you have your academics, which you can see all those. This is for overall, financial, branding. Oh yeah, the branding here, you'll see 5K, 10K, 100K, 500K. Got your physical, piano, networking, culinary, family, and language. And then down here, there's a milestone by phase. So, a GPA 3.7 plus by the end of undergraduate. And then you can see the MCAT and the step 1, step 2. And the followers is where this comes in. The goal is to have 500,000 plus followers by the end of, or I guess by the start of my life after fellowship. The net worth, gotta get higher and higher. Thankfully, I will not be $200,000 in debt, so I believe I can get to 100K within phase 3. And then 7 million by the beginning of phase 5. Properties, I won't have a property. I'll be renting my apartment until residency. And then I'll be having 3 houses, hopefully, when I finish my. Not even finish, just when I live in phase 5. Let me go a little lower. Relationships, got your 2 mentors, then you got 4, then you got 8, then you got 20, then you got authority, for sure. Gotta master all 7 cuisines. I'll go more into that later. Language level. That just shows you what I should be by the time I finish. There's also different tabs here. Piano, culinary, language, if you couldn't tell. Those are helpful for the way. Let's go into phase 2, which is medical school. This is from 2030 to 2034. The goal is to survive, excel, and position for the most competitive orthopedic surgery residency programs. Hopefully in California, though, because your boy needs to use his benefits. Anyway, academics, it just goes over the years we have to do, recommendations, financial life. Like, just the same thing as last time. I would say the only difference is that you're showing that you have to progress. It's requiring you to progress through all this. And like before, stay with that daily family call. Even if it's hard, just call for like 10 minutes or 5. Just say how you're doing. It's the consistency that matters. Then we go into phase 3 residency. Oh my gosh. Yes, we finally become a surgeon and everything is finally going into place. We're finally getting a real salary, 60 to 80K a year. We're probably going to get around 100K because it's orthopedics. But there we go. There's our profession. That's what's changed though. Professional has changed. Then we got our physical, piano, culinary, character, networking, language. And physical, we have archery and wrestling. I actually want to learn bartending as well. I just find bartending so beautiful because of what you can make with the drinks and just making the environment itself so pretty. I don't know, I just something about it. For fellowship, which is phase 4, we're now in our sports medicine fellowship. And we're now getting attending income, which is around 400K to 700K a year. It's definitely helped me out money wise. But in terms of everything else, I should have my diploma for piano by then, which by then as in 2041. Oh my. And then phase 5, which is peak operation after fellowship, I'm a traveling orthopedic surgeon, hopefully in sports medicine practice, and if possible, getting a contract with the NBA, Olympic teams, international sports, or the NFL. I'm for sure always doing research and teaching people. I would love to be a teacher, and then own my own practice, and then hold equity for sure in other practices if possible. Everything else pretty simple, but for sure physically, I should know 5 martial arts, such as boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, archery, and I believe one more, but kind of drawing a blank on that. And then bartending, it's gotta be top notch by then. And then also the family topic right here where it says family. This is when I want to become a father. I want to be a dad after I finish fellowship. I don't want to become a dad and have to deal with all the hardships of being a father at the beginning or like when I'm so close to finishing. So this is when I want to have my child around 38, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, I want to have my income streams, my practice, my real estate, my brand, and my SaaS business. And then Hawaii, have an anchor home there, have a summer house in Japan, which is in Okinawa, Japan, actually. And then another summer house in Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, hopefully. Or Bangkok, Thailand. All right, and that's pretty much it. If I want to go more into detail, we can go into piano and we'll see all these different grades. I'm currently grade 1. And then just keep on progressing and learn more about the grades themselves. You'll have a little technique for like skill points, I would say. That's what it feels like, a little skill points. You can also add a piece that you're learning or that you mastered or that you love. This also shows, yeah, little suggested repertoire. This is nice, for sure. Anyway, enough of that. Going into culinary, I already added some stuff on here. I am not a master chef. I am just a home cook. But it'll tell you what you're able to do as a home cook and what classifies a home cook, as well as the different types of cuisines I want to master. And you can also see the different phases, which is nice. I like that implementation. And I've already added some techniques or some skills that I've put down. My plating is horrible, but I'm good at making these so far. My dishes, my signature right now, I haven't added everything, but my signature right now is chicken karaage. I love it. I love it so much. And then I'm trying to make chicken katsu, but I prefer chicken karaage. It's just something about that potato starch. And these show your culinary principles. All right. Last, we have language. It shows 3 different types. For Spanish, I'm at an A1 level, and I didn't write my stuff down there yet. And this is an example where I could just write hola, which is hello, obviously in Spanish. I know that one though. Okay, there we go. Then Japanese, Korean. Then everything else kind of just falls into place. There's also health, which is important. This is all my workouts gauged. So it's not gonna just have like duplicates of the same exercise. It's all the same exercise, just what I can improve on. For example, when I do my cable crunch, the target is to just get a little bit higher. And my machine seated crunch, yeah, that's definitely the goal for sure. But the whole point, just to improve. Then you got a meal plan which you can incorporate. Then you have goals you can add, metrics and habits. I have not implemented everything just yet, but I will. That's pretty much it. So let me end it off how I started and go back to the way. But yeah, this is what I will be doing the next 20 years. I'll be using this entire program, just focusing on that and becoming the best me I can be. So that's day one out of 20 years. And I'm excited to showcase everything with you guys, as well as to have you guys join with me. And maybe in the future, if you guys want, I could even have it set where we can talk together and I could help you build a probably not 20-year plan, but I could help plan things with you. I can help be a planner for like a year of locking in, something like that. The option's always open, but I'm excited to see what happens next. See you guys tomorrow for day 2. And I'll only really do long term videos for like every month is a long term video. Every month is a check in of what's happened my progression throughout. So there you go. Hopefully everything is nice in a month and see y'all later.